do a pretty good Biden, by the way. You did that.
Thanks,
Yeah,
buddy.
that was really good.
Thanks. Yeah, he's like, come on, what are you doing? I like that I feel like, first of all, he pops. Every once in a while, he'll like remember where he is and what he's like, yeah. That's the soul of the country. Like, you just go, you're like, whoa, he's back.
Like
His
the
eyes
connection.
come back.
His eyes, yeah, it's really his eyes. He's just like, I'm like, how is he?
It's like when there's like a short. It's like.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
That's exactly it.
And
Somebody,
sometimes it's a good line. It's like, oh, that was good. Why don't you do that all the time?
I know exactly. Yeah, he is sharp when he's sharp, but when he's not, it's like, oh boy.
Do you do? I know you went to school for acting too.
Yeah.
Do you do film and TV stuff also? Or
Yeah, I audition for stuff, but I do I've done a couple of like commercials and stuff.
nice. They
So
pay
that's
well.
been cool. Yeah. I had something during the pandemic that like got me through the pandemic, so that was like
Nice.
that was key. But yeah, man, yeah, I've done like a few commercials that you've probably like skipped on YouTube. You know, like it's like my head for a second, like and then it's like nope, I want to watch what I want to watch, not this thing.
I want to see biggest fails 2014. Come on.
Yeah.
What were the ads? What were the commercials?
One of them was Butterfinger's commercial.
Hell yeah.
That's what I want to see while I'm watching a guy get hit by a truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I'm hungry.
Truck fails. Welcome back to Truck Fails. This is me.
Better not lay a finger on my Butterfinger, buddy.
Yeah, so there's that, and then did a thing for. I did a commercial where it was like. I thought it was for. Like a non-dairy, like a vegan dairy thing.
Yeah.
And then, because in the emails before we shot, it was like, do you have any dietary restrictions? And I was like, oh yeah, like I'm actually like lactose intolerant. And they're like, okay, like great, like we'll make sure we have dairy-free options on set. And they were like, they were like so concerned about that in like the build-up.
Yeah.
And then the commercial was for this thing called like, I forget what it was called. It was like
Lactate or something.
it wasn't lactate, but it was like it was like fun dairy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I like how your
Dairy-free
writers
dairy.
was like, your writers is just my tummy hurts.
yeah. Sometimes I get sick. Yeah, it was so I'm just now like thinking back on this for the first. It was weird. They're like, because it was and then they kept asking like, can we feed you this? Can we feed you this? And then the commercial was like it had nothing to do with milk, dairy, or whatever. It was like a Geico-ish thing.
Oh.
Where it was like the commercial has nothing to do with what it is.
Yeah.
And then at the end it was like fun dairy or whatever. And then like a couple months later I found out it's like it's just for like milk. Like it's not like got milk, it's just like for like cows or whatever. Like it was like a very like
It's like dairy promoted. Or
it was like
yeah.
for farmers or dairy or whatever. But
yeah.
but they were like so. In my head I imagined that they would if that was the deal, if the commercial was for like hardcore milk, that they'd be like, hey, you're drinking milk on set, you know, like
So I'm gonna shit my pants.
yeah.
Whole ass milk. There was like my buddy lived in Georgia for a while, and there was like a billboard campaign that was like nut milk ain't milk, and it was like farmers. I don't know if it was something like that. Or...
Yeah, it was probably I don't know. It was weird, but it was just one day.
And the Butterfinger commercial, were you the guy? I'm trying to remember all the Butterfinger commercials. Were you the guy who kept getting caught in like the booby traps or something?
There was I don't know. I only did one.
Okay.
So, but it was like I was like stealing a Butterfinger from like someone's purse, and then they like shot like blue like whipped cream out of the purse.
Yeah.
And then so and then I remember we were shooting like a big like we were shooting like the wide of the whole scene, which is like 35 seconds maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like da-na-na, come up, grab the thing, shoot the thing, then people enter, and then there's like 3 lines, and then that's the end of that was all we were doing.
What a great gig.
Yeah, I mean it was crazy. And it was the first day back from shooting things post-COVID, like things.
Yeah.
The first day things opened up, so there were like zones, like zone A, zone B. You couldn't go there if you were this, blah blah blah. But like, it was like shooting in like Yonkers or something. So it was all these like New Yorker crew people who were like, they didn't give a shit about it. So like the makeup people were all like, how you doing? Getting real close, no mask. Oh yeah, it's good. This is fun. Butterfinger. I never liked them, but whatever. You know?
I love
That
working in New
Fauci
York.
guy, huh?
Yeah.
New York's the best. I've worked on 2 shows up there, and it's always great.
It's always like the people have been doing it for like 40 years.
Yeah.
And they're like they just know what the fuck they're doing.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And they're like New Yorkers, and they're like, yeah, it's a job, TV, who cares, you know?
So the problem with being on a film set, though, is it spoils you.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
If I did that all the time, I'd be so disconnected from everything else.
Right.
Because you're just constantly being pampered and treated like a king.
Oh, it's wild. The people who come over to you with headsets like, everything okay?
It's like, yeah, I'm just a guy, man.
Yeah, you're like, I'm fine. Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Right. Exactly.
Can you drink milk? Okay, are you
Yeah.
sure?
How's milk? Is milk good? You good with milk?
That's so funny. It's just like I imagine everyone being like, guys, we're back. COVID's over. We're finally creating again. Load up the whipped cream cannon, all right?
Yeah, it was
That's
so
awesome.
dumb.
I think I remember that commercial now.
Those guys
Yeah.
are always like
It was
this
on,
close
huh?
to getting fired, though, it seems like.
The people who are making the whipped cream thing?
The guys in the back, like the crew.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're like the opposite of everything they want you to be.
Yeah. They're not professional. No, they are. Yeah.
Why do they? You said they feel like they're gonna be fired at any moment, or they act like they are?
I just think they are.
Oh,
Because they're just like right on the edge.
okay.
Like, I don't think you're supposed to say that right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. They're smoking. They're like,
I'm not offended, but you know.
Yeah, we're supposed to be
They
quiet.
probably are.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not OSHA or anything, but you know.
I remember there was the like client or whatever was like sitting in like a video village thing.
Yeah.
And it was like for the Ferrero Rocher was like the parent company, I guess.
Oh,
of
nice.
Butterfinger.
Yeah.
And so there was this like young like German woman sitting there watching the TV like this, and like every take they'd go, okay, did she say? What did she want? Did she say that she wants? Okay, and then it was so clear when like the note was coming for her. They'd be like, okay, this time we're gonna try chew chew smile wink smile chew, like whoever was like eating the thing, and she was just like, what? And it was always so clear that it was coming from the person who was like,
Yeah, that's not somebody that understands.
chocolate is life or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's like a cheat code in a video game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or like a CIA like secret message.
Up, down, left, chew, smile, wink. Yeah.
They're being tortured. Help. SOS. Torture.
Yeah.
Do that in a helicopter spawns beside you or something.
So you're originally from New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So you've done your whole stand-up career in New York.
Yeah, I started coming in to the city, taking the train in. Like my whole first year of doing stand-up, I would commute to do stand-up. I worked construction for my cousin, and then he was cool with me. Like, I'd be like, hey, can I take today or tomorrow off to go do stand-up? And he was like, yeah, go
That's
do
great.
it. So,
And
yeah.
Did you start stand-up before you went to film school or acting school? Or?
I had done it like a handful of times in high school.
Okay.
And then I did it a handful of times in college. And I was writing it that whole time. So I was like writing since I was 14, but I just never got up
Oh, that's cool.
and did it. So I think all the shit that I had written by the time I started was unusable, but it like got out, and any like bad.
Yeah, you
Well, I'm
understood
still
the
a bad
structure.
writer, but like, yeah, it
No,
just
you're
got
a good
out like
writer, dude.
bad writing habits. So like, yeah, when I started, I was like, do I have anything that's usable? And then I read everything I wrote for the last like 6 years, and I was like, oh no, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Silly
I see why
bands.
this is a no, you know.
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah.
that was helpful.
Was it stuff like, what was the stuff when you were like 14 that you wrote about? Was it like, hey, you ever wear silly bands? Like, what was it?
I think I'm remembering I had like a thing. I think it's so hack. I remember, okay, I auditioned for my high school talent show and I did stand up. And the talent show ended up getting canceled. Like it was a snow day or something, and they just
Oh.
never did it. But I was doing I did like in my high school's like theater. There were like 2 teachers who were running the talent show, sitting in the audience, and then there were like 5 kids in the back, just like doing homework or whatever. And I was doing like a bit about, which is so hack. Everyone has done this, but like Hitler wanting to be a painter.
Oh yeah.
And like how crazy of a plan B Chancellor of Germany was, like I think Mulaney does a bit about it, but
Yeah.
like that, my 14-year-old brain was like, this is hilarious. And like being like, I'm going to say Hitler on stage and but, and then I did one-liners with a guitar,
Oh, okay.
and I just did like terrible.
Dimitri Martin
One-liners.
fan or something.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. I was
Yeah.
just like, I'm going to throw something together.
Do you
Yeah.
play guitar?
I can play, but I'm not very good.
Okay.
Yeah. I can play like chords. I
Yeah.
can't like riff or anything. Do you?
Cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I got back into it recently, about a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
and I love it. Yeah, we actually started a band, and
Oh, sick.
and we're trying to incorporate it in our comedy show, like we created an
nice.
act. So we'll do a stand-up show, and then we'll follow it up with just live music.
I think that's a killer
It's
show.
fun.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, we're doing it tonight, actually.
Really?
Yeah, we have a show tonight.
Oh, is it the comic book thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool. I heard
I'm one of
about
the
this.
owners of the store.
Oh, amazing.
It's a terrible investment. It's a community
hilarious.
investment. Yeah.
Yeah. That's sick. Yeah, I think that's my buddy Simon runs a show in New York that's like that. He does like maybe like an hour of a comedy show, and then he hires like a cool underground
Yeah.
musical act,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they do the next hour, and people dance, and it's fun.
Yeah. It's fun. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a fun show.
That's like
So-
comedy and music.
So you're pretty young. You're 26.
26, yeah.
So how long have you been doing stand up? Actually, just consistently doing it.
I think like 3.5 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was, trying to get up every day, 2 mics every day,
Yeah, that's great.
and try and like book an out of town gig like every 4-6 months, just to put pressure on myself to like
Right.
write more, like cut stuff or structure things, and
Now, are you?
So-
Do you go up at the cellar and stuff now, or
no,
not yet?
I'm nowhere close to that. To
Oh,
be honest.
you're not far from it.
Well,
You're better than some of the comics I've seen. Go up there.
that's very nice of you to say. Yeah. No, I'm like sort of past at some places, like getting spots, but they don't pay, like that kind of deal.
Right. Yeah.
But mostly I'm just like, I host and produce a couple of shows in New York, a couple of monthly shows.
Okay.
First Impressions I do with Lucas Arnold. I don't know if you guys have seen Lucas Arnold.
Yeah,
ever.
yeah. I've seen some of the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really funny guy.
Yeah.
We do a show that's like surrounded. We make comics do impressions
That's awesome.
after their set.
You do a pretty good Biden, by the way. You did that.
Thanks,
Yeah,
buddy.
that was really good.
Thanks. Yeah, he's like, come on, what are you doing? I like that I feel like, first of all, he pops. Every
Yeah.
once in a while, he'll like remember where he is and what
Yeah.
he's like, yeah. It's the soul of the country. Like, you just go. You're like, whoa, he's back.
Like
His
the
eyes
connection.
come back.
His eyes, yeah, it's really his eyes. He's just like, I'm like, how is he?
It's like when there's like a short. It's like.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
yeah.
That's exactly it.
And
Somebody,
sometimes it's a good line. It's like, oh, that was good. Why don't you do that all the time?
I know exactly. Yeah, he is sharp when he's sharp, but when he's not, it's like, oh boy.
I can't wait till he just starts saying really wild stuff. Like he just
Yeah.
has no idea what's happening.
He just did Stern. Did you see he did Howard Stern?
No.
No.
Yeah, he did it. I think like 2 days ago or yesterday.
Huh.
It was actually a good interview.
Yeah, I would love to
But-
see Stern 10 years ago with Biden.
Yeah, exactly. Right. He's like, you want to sit on the Sibian? Yeah. Biden's like, whoa, wow, my God. Yeah, Baba Booey. Yeah, he's an interesting.
First
He's
impression.
fun
so
to
do
do,
they go in and just do impressions, or is it like
No,
have-
they do a set and then we come up after and we pull names
Okay.
out of a hat
Cool.
and they have to like do the impression that we pull.
Yeah.
And then I just started, actually tonight is our first show with one of my best friends, Jess Elgene. We're running a show at this place in New York called Asylum NYC. And that's going to be a monthly, it's called Hail Mary.
Is it
And,
in the city or is it
Yeah, it's in the city, yeah.
nice?
And I'm missing the first show, but I'm going to be there next month. And
Oh yeah,
so, yeah.
that's cool.
So, yeah, that's what I'm up to up
So
there.
are you on the road a lot?
I try and get out and do a gig because it's like it's a bit of a drug, you know, like to go to a place and you find out what people think are funny.
Yeah.
You know, especially that last half of what I'm working on. It's like all political-ish.
It's
Yeah.
really
And-
it's political stand-up, but it's not really political.
Yeah,
It's good. It's like you're not like attacking any one
You're not
person.
dividing.
Or,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's really just. I mean, it's kind of like. I mean, I have some political jokes too, but
sure.
it's all bullshit anyway. So
Yeah,
it's easy
yeah.
to sort of make fun of the whole thing.
Yeah. It's like I'm trying to figure out in that whole chunk what turns people off and what people are willing to go with.
I love the way you've built in so many tags in your set too. Like even
Yeah,
in the
thanks.
setups, it's really consistent through the whole set. And I love your
Thanks.
pauses too. You take these pause breaks, and they're just so meticulously planned into your set. Or I mean, it's organic, but it's
Yeah.
it's great. It's like you're building tension, and then you take this pause that builds more tension,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you perfectly release it. And it's
Yeah.
like, wow, that's
Ah, cool, man. That's cool to hear. Yeah.
your
Yeah.
timing is great.
I like sitting in something weird with an audience. I think it's fun to just have a moment where no one knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Or no one, like I might even not know how they're
Right.
feeling. They don't know how I feel. Like that's kind of fun
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
and weird and
Like
yeah.
being in the crowd, and when someone does that, for me, it's like, okay, this guy's comfy. Because whenever people can't be cool with silence, I'm just like,
Oh,
this guy's
yeah.
nervous. But like,
Yeah.
whenever you kind of sit in it, or like in that reaction or whatever, it's like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
You can find some good stuff in those moments too.
Yeah. So yeah, we were just talking about somebody might like pipe up or something, but like
Yeah.
it depends whether or not that's
Whether-
fun or not. But
Yeah.
like
Because I don't know if you saw it, Neil, but there was a man front row.
Yeah.
at the
God,
show
yeah.
last night,
you saw him?
asleep.
Yeah.
Hated that guy.
Yeah, that guy was not supposed to be there. I mean, he just wasn't. He shouldn't have gone to a comedy show.
I was in the back of
Biden
the
of it.
room. I was in the very back of the room, kind of the left side of the room,
Yeah.
and I could feel his negative energy from the back.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I just don't like this.
Well,
guy.
we were talking. He started talking as soon as Ethan got up there.
yeah,
As
yeah.
soon as and
Turning
he-
around,
and he had
talking.
his back to the stage.
and kissing his girlfriend in
Yeah.
the middle of the show. I'm like,
Yeah,
what are
yeah.
you doing, man? He's just completely unaware. There's no introspection at all.
No,
he's just
no.
projecting out this negative energy to everybody.
Yeah.
like he's the only person that matters in that room.
Yeah, literally, he was like. I guess that's why he sat front and center because he was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
It's the show's. I'm the show.
Yeah.
I'm the show, baby.
I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah. And he was wearing like a collared shirt and a tie, which I
Right.
thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the most sophisticated drunk.
And he had like
Yeah.
a big jaw full of tobacco or something.
Yeah, he was spitting into his bottle and everything. Yeah,
Just a dick.
for the first 15 minutes, and then he fell asleep.
Not that I don't have a problem with people chewing tobacco, but just that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's just
Front row, and you're
yeah.
Yeah.
going, like, yeah, that was wild.
Eating ice too.
What?
He ate a lot of ice. It was just like the loudest thing you could do.
That's so. I don't remember that. That's so funny.
I think he did it during Ethan's set. He just kept eating ice, and it was like, good God.
Oh my god.
I thought
It
it
might
was
be
funny.
weird on the audio.
I thought it was funny. You would say things about him, and he just had no idea
Yeah.
because he was somewhere else.
Well, we were saying like I was a little worried because like I didn't want him to screw up the whole show because he
Right.
was like right off the bat talking
Yeah.
front row, and then I think like yeah and it's like you can't not say anything about that. Like
Yeah.
I think he like proposed to his girlfriend in the middle of it, or he was like
Talking about how he did propose to her.
Well,
yeah he's
well,
like
he-
I'm about to or something.
No, he said my sister-in-law doesn't even know that my girl,
That's it.
that we're engaged. That
Yes.
her sister's engaged to me now.
Yes.
Like, why would you bring that up in the middle of
Yeah.
a show?
Yeah, it was. So,
And I saw the sister-in-law go, what?
yeah.
And they got into a conversation.
Yeah. They were like planning the wedding. They were making arrangements right there.
I thought she was breaking up with him. She doesn't know because I didn't say yes. You should.
Yeah. It was wild. But yeah, and then I think like he just shut down. Maybe like 20 minutes in, he just
Yep. He just Bidened out.
he just bidened out. Oh,
Yeah.
come on, folks, come on. Folks.
Tobacco is his ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah. He goes
Maybe-
another drink. I know. I probably should.
Not engaged.
Got engaged. What You want to marry me? Come on. It's a little Jimmy Stewart, actually. I
Yeah,
remember.
little, come on.
Come on, hey.
Ah,
Oh,
I want to get married again.
want to get married. Married. Married.
Not a bad Jimmy Stewart. All right. I like this.
That's what I'm saying.
He was probably just blacked out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, there was
Just
no
waiting
way.
when he got there. Yeah.
He's like, we went to a comedy show last night. That's that front row?
I
Last
got
night.
engaged?
Yeah, I got engaged.
Hell
Yeah. But, dude, other than him, I mean, he wasn't even that bad, honestly. He fell asleep. Like, the audience down here is so fucking awesome. Like, the Greensboro
That was a tough
comedy
audience, too. I mean, usually the audiences here are really into it. They're great audiences.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was a tighter audience. Like, they weren't given a whole lot. Like,
They weren't, yeah.
They'd get into it, and they'd go somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. That is funny when an audience is like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, trail off. And
Yeah.
they're just like, that's funny. End. You know?
Yeah.
It's
What's
just so
next?
fucking-
Yeah, they're like, and then?
I think a lot of
Yeah.
it is they're trying to be polite, maybe, because they're like, oh, he's going to keep talking.
Yeah,
Like,
totally, totally.
Maybe something like that, because it's Southern. I don't
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, we do have audiences occasionally that are just real smiley.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's
they're
that's
with you,
fun.
but they're just not.
They're not making noise. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really
No, but
quiet.
I love every time I've been down. I like have done the festival a couple years now, and like, I feel like the audience down here are just fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
at the Idiot Box.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's something about that room too that's so, I don't know.
It's
It
well,
has a
it's well
basement-y
designed.
vibe.
Yeah, it's well designed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, it's just like nice. I mean, Jenny and Steve are like the nicest people in comedy. Like they, and they're just create an environment. Like just doing that punch show last night, just
Yeah.
watching that, I was like, oh, this is great. Like just like there's like maybe 16 comics, and they're all happy to be there, all happy to like
Yeah.
be fucking around.
Yeah,
It was a blast, dude.
Yeah, it was fun.
we do these remix shows now too that are really fun. Where you do a stand-up set, and then the improvisers come out and they
Somebody was
act
telling me
out
about
your
this.
set.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the show, we all go up and just riff on ideas from the audience.
Yeah.
And that's fun. That's really good to. You can get new material out of that too.
Yeah, and that's cool because like, at least in New York, like improv and stand up, they hate each other, or they don't hate,
Really?
but it's like weirdly like people are like improv sucks.
I love those
Huh.
shows because the improv people are so much nicer than comics. They have a lot more fun.
yeah, literally, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing where people, and it's all just bits,
Yeah.
you know. So like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a very similar art form.
I love the improv people will be like, hey, we're going to the farmers market. You guys want to come? And stand-ups like never get together like that.
Yeah, they're like, this is a farmer's market during the day. No thanks.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm gonna be at home and be sad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'd rather watch the farmer's market,
Yeah.
the live stream, and go, those assholes. Yeah, it's weird because like improv, people be like, improv sucks. There's no like, they're not writing. There's no like craft to it. And then it's like, but I'm fucking great at crowd work. It's like, well, that's improv.
Yeah,
like,
that's-
you know,
yeah.
that's improv, right? Like,
Yeah, if you did improv, you'd probably be better at that.
yeah, exactly. Right,
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, doing that improv class at the, I guess it's an improv workshop. I don't know what you call it, but doing that, I mean, really helps with stand-up too, because it gets you out of your head more. Because like I was like, I feel like a lot of stand-ups are like, I gotta be this way, and then doing improv, it's like, have more fun, like
Yeah.
be whatever, like don't like restrict yourself so much. So
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like that thing you were saying of like being cool with like the pause or whatever, or just like,
yeah,
like you can't. It's like improv is like not like laugh like stand up can be like.
hmm
You sort of have to take a moment and be like, wait, where are we? Who are we? What are we doing? This is that. Okay,
yeah,
relationship is this, and you know, like
It's more like scene work.
yeah.
I like it. I mean, I think if you do improv, you're gonna be better. You're gonna be a better writer at stand up.
Right. I feel like a lot of improvisers do end up going into like screenwriting and stuff. I don't know if that's
No,
like
it's-
just my perception. I'm pulling that out of my ass, but like,
It's like you're creating sketches in the moment.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's true.
But you know, like even like my writing style, I'll riff on ideas
Mm-hmm.
over and over again until because you're trying to dig in and really find what's like at the core of this idea. That's the
Right.
funny thing,
Right.
and it's hard to find it. But if you just keep riffing on it and just keep improvising it, you know, that's how I work on scripts too. Like if I get sides for an audition, I'll read through them twice,
Yeah.
and then I'll just put the sides down, and I'll just start to just go through the scene. You know what my idea of the scene is,
Yeah.
and try to find out what's happening.
Yeah, your own words and stuff. I'll
Yeah.
do that too. Yeah, just like I also feel like that's such a comic thing to do. Like to be like, I'll rewrite it.
Yeah.
Like that could be really funny sides, and you're like, I don't know this.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a better whatever. I'll say this, but like I'm thinking this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that is.
Do you
that is true.
do a lot of writing up in New York or anything?
Yeah, I was. I'm like writing shit that it's like no one will see for another like 10 years. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
yeah.
pilots and things like that, and like
Yeah.
shorts and screenplays and stuff like that. So
You
yeah,
have like a group of people you do it with, or
nah, you know what? I just like I think the last year I just was like any free time I had where like I wasn't either doing mics or like inspired to like write stand up, I would try and write something narrative.
Yeah.
So, but now I think those things are getting to the point where it's like, okay, now I need to bring this to a group, like you're saying, of like,
yeah.
Do you know
Writers'
Evan
Room.
Williams?
I don't think so.
He's
The
a-
whiskey brand?
Well, he's from here, but he's in New York.
Oh,
comic,
really?
Up at the cellar and stuff. He's in
Oh,
New York
cool.
now, right?
No, he's in LA.
Oh, he's in L.A.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should meet up with him.
I'll
You-
shoot him an email.
We'll meet in the middle. We'll meet.
Yeah,
in the middle.
yeah.
Do you want to do a date in Omaha? Just
Yeah.
us?
He's a
That'd be
brilliant
cool.
dude, though. Yeah,
Evan Williams. Okay. All
yeah. He spent a
I'll
lot
look
of
him
time up there. Yeah.
right, cool. Yeah, there's like a lot of. I feel like everyone's got something. Everyone's got a pilot like on the back burner. They're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you want to read it? It's interesting.
How
You know,
many
I think-
pilots have you had to read?
Nobody asked me to read anything. They're like, I have a couple friends who are like, you want to read this and just does it make any sense?
Yeah.
Well, you
But-
talked about AI, and you had some good
Yeah.
AI bits. But
Yeah.
I'm a tech nerd, so I'm
Yeah,
fascinated with that stuff.
yeah.
But I think in about maybe a year or two, I have some screenplays too, and I want to animate them, and I think I can
Ah.
use AI to do that.
Really?
Yeah, so I can do we can do voiceovers like with the actors, and then I
Right.
can just animate the whole script, all my scripts.
There's also a animation school at the School of the Arts.
Oh, okay,
You can
yeah.
get some of them to get into it. But
I kind of think it's going to be a different field soon. I
Yeah,
think the
totally,
animators
everything.
you still need the creative minds to.
yeah,
I mean, I say that, but AI is sort of like a collective intelligence. So it's kind of like taking all the best creative minds and creating things. So I think if it does reach a level where it understands, you may just be like reviewing whatever it creates and be like, oh, this is cool.
yeah.
You give it an idea, and
There's something about that bothers me though. There's something about that where I'm like, but there could be some person out there who's not doing something that the collective understanding has seen
Right.
yet,
that's
Yeah.
going to happen for sure.
and like then that person is getting shut out by this thing that's like, like, oh, here's the like institutionalized language of animation.
Yeah.
And then it's like this person who's like, oh, I actually want to do this thing. It's like, well, that's not like what we've seen before. You know what I mean?
Well, I think
Yeah.
that thing could be cool too. I think that could make that thing more valuable.
That's
to the
that's
artist.
true. That's true.
But also, I look at everything as a paintbrush. So it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's just a new paintbrush, and it
Yeah.
gives you new possibilities. And
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
and the thing I like about technology is it's typically decentralizing. Because
Mm-hmm.
power is never a good thing. It just creates barriers.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're giving everyone the tools.
Yeah,
to-
you all have
yeah.
the same ability to create, but not everybody is as creative. So that element's going to be important, I think.
Yeah. I fucking love Looney Tunes. I just want to say
Oh, yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like it's so like me and my brother would get up at like 4 a.m. on like Saturdays and Sundays and watch like DVD box sets that he had.
Dude,
of,
I
like,
had
Looney
some
Tunes.
VHSs.
Yeah. And the VHSs of like Bugs Bunny in the desert. You're like, this is a like there's like
Yeah.
20 episodes of him in the desert. It's like, but like, it's so cool when you see like to this point of like, okay, this collective understanding is being used. Like, it's so cool when you see like modern, like, or like just, recent animated movies, like
Right.
using like
Interpretations from that.
Looney Tunes, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
visual syntax or whatever to like.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Love Looney Tunes. I
Nothing
just
better.
animated like for Eric's show. We had like I had like his logo come in like the Looney Tunes thing.
Yeah.
And had his puppet like eating a carrot like in the beginning like that. And, like I love that stuff.
There's something about it that just like I could watch it for hours.
Oh yeah, I think it's so much of the humor in it is like, I think it. That's how you know it's so funny because I'm still laughing at, and I didn't grow up in the 40s. I wasn't in that time.
Yeah.
It was a different time, as you said.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's like it's so good because it still lives, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I used to watch it with my dad when I was a kid.
Yeah. It's like yeah, exactly. It's like you could watch it with someone of any age, and it's funny.
A lot of the cartoons back then were more mature too.
They were so violent.
Yeah.
Which like now like they made like the Looney Tunes remake, and it's like Elmer Fudd doesn't have a shotgun; he has a scythe.
Yeah.
And you're like,
That's
a
worse.
scythe?
That's scarier.
He's the Grim Reaper? Like, what the fuck?
Stab you.
Yeah. But
more
yeah, they would just pull a shotgun out of their ass and shoot them in the head, and then it was like the funniest. Why is that the funniest?
Well,
thing?
the boomer
It just is.
generation, they're a pretty selfish bunch.
Yeah.
They're not very empathetic or compassionate. You know?
exactly.
Like,
Also, it's like a lot of those people are like, I saw a guy get blown up in
Yeah.
Normandy. I'm fine.
It's not that
I'm
bad.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's the ending of that one where it's like all 6 of those like goons or whatever in the mob are just like, now he tells us, and they all line up perfectly, and one guy shoots and they all die, and it's just like Jesus.
Yeah. There's the magic one, you know, the one where I forget what it's called, but Bugs is in like a tree, and this magician is like putting up posters for his wait, maybe I'm thinking of the opera one.
No. Wabbit, kill the wabbit.
No, the other opera one is like
Okay. Oh yeah, he makes him blow up.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That one's good too.
But Kill the Wabbit is wild. He goes, west winds blow, north winds blow, south winds blow. He does all.
Oh, that's where he's the opera is waking. It's at the Hollywood Bowl, I think, and I think he's like living
yes.
there, and it keeps waking him up.
Yes.
Something
Yeah, the
like
whole Hollywood Bowl falls on this opera singer.
Yeah.
Crushes him.
they killed people in the cartoons back then too.
Yeah, it was great.
You'd have like the character with like X'd out eyes just laying there dead. It's like, this is a dead character on a cartoon.
Fully just murdered.
I was
the
watching
person.
the Three
Like
Stooges.
death's
the
a part
other
of
day.
life, guys.
Yeah.
I was watching the Three Stooges the other day, and they were like in the army or something, and then they're like loading up a cannon, and they keep like accidentally blowing up the base because they're like, that's the target.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's an actual boat that they're shooting at. And then at the end, the general's like, I got an assignment for you boys. Line up right there. And then they're sitting there, and then he makes the cannon go on them, and he fucking blows them up. And then it just shows their shoes, and then that's the end. The end is them dying.
Wow.
And then they're in the next episode. They're
Yeah.
not dead. They're not dead the next week. Yeah. No, but there's one where there's a magician, and Bugs Bunny's like in the audience, and he keeps fucking with the magician, and then at the end, and the whole time the magician's just getting like, he has no wins. He's just like Bugs Bunny keeps like,
Yeah.
you know, swerving around him and getting him, and it's like there's no lead up to this. The magician's just like, he's just like do darn 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 darn, and then like Bugs Bunny's like up in the thing heckling him, and that's the last straw is like him heckling him, and he whips out a shotgun and just shoots. And that's like the end of the episode. It's great. Just crazy.
It's what you do, man. If somebody's fucking with you, just shoot them.
Yeah, that's how you settle things, dude.
That's the message.
Yeah. Great.
I think in that, it might be a different opera one where Bugs just shoots the guy who coughs in the audience. Like he just walks out and he's doing this, and the guy keeps coughing, and he goes, and he's, and he just goes, and then just starts. He just
That
kills
is
the guy,
so
and then everyone
funny.
just sticks around.
That's so funny. I like in that
Oh,
when they
man.
go, Leopold, Leopold,
Yeah.
Leopold, 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 Leopold.
Leopold.
Yeah, different sentiments back then.
Yeah. Oh man.
We need to bring it. We used to be a country, dude.
We used to have Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Well, I say that, and then it's like I run into a banned one every now and then. I'm just like, why is this one banned? And then I watch it. I'm like,
Oh
okay.
yeah, there's some
It's like he
crazy
feeds
ones.
the Japanese soldiers ice cream, but they're grenades.
Oh my God.
What scares me about all this, though, is that it's great that we've gotten nicer as a society overall. Like we're less violent.
Yeah, yeah.
But there are a lot of societies that are still there, or even worse than that.
Sure, sure.
And I don't want them to come after us. You know, like we're not going to be able to fight them. You know, like they come here, we're like, I don't want to fight you.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, dude, I've never been in a fight. I don't want to be in a fight.
Me neither. I have
There's
no
no
idea what I do.
desire. No, yeah.
I fought a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
I grew up poor in the South. But
Sure, sure.
You have to fight your friends.
Yeah.
That's how you're friends.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah. I've like wrestled my friends.
Yeah,
I've fought
same.
my friends about
No,
My
we would
brothers.
fist fight each other.
yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
It's like I wasn't real. I wasn't naturally a tough kid. I just had to be.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was like bullies in my middle school. I just think I just
Evaded them.
walked on the walls, just
Yeah.
like, or just like tried to be a funny fat kid or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Right, yeah.
tried to fit that mold.
Ultimate protection.
Oh, that's right, you said you were,
there,
yeah.
immunity.
Yeah, yeah.
You said you were a chubby kid or something, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you're in good shape now.
I'm all right.
Grew out of it.
Yeah. I had a growth spurt like freshman year of high school, and then I was like, I can't believe people are looking at me. That's crazy. Like it was really a wild perception shift.
I was a skinny kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was
Which
like,
is almost similar. Like
Yeah,
when
it's
you're
the
like
same thing, yeah.
like rail thin.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like
I gotta get stronger.
yeah, you're like
Yeah, it's like strangers would come up to me growing up and be like, get that boy a sandwich. And it's like, I don't know you, dude.
yeah.
Like, you're coming up to me at the pool right now.
Yeah.
And they got like the little things that play marimba on my ribs. It's like, get away
Yeah.
from me.
People will come up to me at the pool and be like, "Take that shirt off. You're in the pool." Yeah.
Yeah, adults are weird.
Yeah.
We're weird.
You were weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird,
all weird.
weird familiarity with if you have like a different weight, adults feel like they can just say whatever to you for some reason.
Yeah. That's such a big thing. Like, you look good. You lose weight.
Yeah.
You're like,
When I was a kid, like mean things were funny.
yeah.
So when I was a kid, like the adults would do mean things to you, and that would be funny.
Yeah, and it was like, you guys
We
are
say
a couple of
are
pussies. It was harder back then.
Yeah, sometimes you know what I think about that is like mean things are funny, but it depends on like who is saying it
Yeah.
Right, and how it's being said.
and how it's being said.
But back when I was a kid, like people would do literally, I mean, they would do mean things to you,
Yeah,
and everybody would laugh about it. But it was just a real shitty thing. You know, it's
Yeah.
not funny at all,
yeah,
especially to me or whoever was the victim of the
Yeah.
mean thing. But it was the entertainment. You know, it was
yeah.
it was a different.
Well, they fucking like gladiators. What like ancient Rome was
Yeah.
like. They literally have lions rip people apart, and people would line up in the streets to watch it.
Your
Yeah.
kids would be watching it with you.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, can you move? My kid can't see the.
Terrifying.
carnage.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I hate
Which
when I
is
get
wild.
behind that tall guy. At
Yeah.
the glad. I can't see the Christian.
yeah, and if you
wall,
ask the
dude.
tall guy to move, he just stab you in the throat. He's
Yeah.
like, everyone's like, hey, sideshow. Side bets are happening. All right, he's gonna die in 10 seconds. 15.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like it's like Neil, you were talking about like we've gotten less violent. I feel like, but I feel like we're kind of the same. We just don't sell tickets anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we used to be really bad, and it was like people would come watch, and now it's just like we're still pretty bad, but we don't make as much money doing it. It's
Well,
not as a lucrative business. I
as an
guess.
institution, we're very violent. We
yeah.
we kill a lot of people
Yeah, yeah.
around the world.
Mm.
But yeah, so but I think internally we've gotten better, and I think that's hopefully can be strong enough to change a lot of that stuff. Because
But there's also like there's, I guess there's like you will watch fights on TikTok, or you watch
Yeah.
yeah,
like epic fails or whatever. Literally
Yeah.
like car crashes
Right.
on TikTok, and you go, like so it's become a different form, I guess.
Yeah. Well, there was like this one TikTok. I've been saying this to myself for like a month. It's like, that AI voice or whatever that talks over some TikToks.
Yeah.
It was like There's a video of a donkey getting hit by a train, and that's not funny. The funny part is the voice saying, "This donkey never saw the train coming." And I was like, I have to watch this video now. So I've just been saying that to
That's
myself
so
all
insane.
month. Just, this donkey never saw the train coming.
It'd be hilarious if someone typed that in somberly. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have AI say this, but they were like in their head, like, "This donkey never saw the train coming." But the AI voice is like, "This donkey."
Like it's a cute video.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah.
Yeah, the
I hate-
desensitization to death is not a good thing.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes like those videos come up and the caption is like, "When you've had one too many at the bar." And it's like a donkey getting hit by a train is like, I'm hungover. Like,
It's always some Chinese worker getting, like, mauled by, like, a fan or something.
whoa, have you ever seen those videos of the guy who's on like the massive boat and there's like two giant like slants
Yeah.
and he's standing on either side of it and he's got this big pole and he's like hitting this giant mound of like either sand or like gravel or like some sort of like rubble or something, and
Yeah.
it's just like coming down and coming down. He has to like step back.
I don't think I
Wow.
have seen
All right,
that one.
never mind.
What?
No, forget it.
There's a lot, I mean,
I have to know what happens now.
I don't know. Nothing. This is somebody's job.
it's just so
It's,
dangerous.
like,
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
so dangerous.
yeah, it's like there's no safety protocols or anything.
No.
It's like
Yeah.
just don't get crushed.
yeah, exactly.
Don't die.
Yeah,
And you did it right.
yeah, exactly.
Good job.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's videos of guys like with like giant like saws, and they're like cutting a cinder block, and they're holding it with their toe,
Oh, yeah.
and like
yeah.
like no shoes. They're just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've seen those guys who had to, like, light fires on, like, oil rigs, and they had to, like, shoot a flare at, like, a plume of gas.
Yeah,
And it's like, don't miss. It's
yeah,
like-
yeah.
But that was
Literally.
our grandfathers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, for
totally.
sure.
And so today, there's still people doing that stuff.
Right, right.
Yeah, those are tough dudes.
My grandfather still. No. I was like,
Still
he's
got him
130. He's shooting flares at oil rigs. It's crazy.
I'm thinking of retiring. Boom.
Yeah.
Dude, all my family, like, way back there, it was the coal mines. So I'm
Right,
doing
West
pretty
Virginia.
well for myself. Yeah.
I know, that's why I was like did the show last night, watched the show, went back to my Airbnb, like had like a veggie wrap, and I was like, what the fuck? How crazy is that?
Yeah.
That like
I'm not
that's
having to crawl in, like, coal.
Yeah.
You know?
so wild.
Yeah, it's better today in a lot
not
of
like-
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think economically that we're all being really squeezed right now.
Yeah.
You know, prices
Yeah.
have gone up like 40%, 50%.
But that's, I mean, yeah, I had like a joke that I forgot because the guy who was asleep at one point, his foot went, like it just felt like he must have,
Oh, I saw you. You
Yeah.
pointed at his foot and
Yeah.
said something. Yeah.
but like he made me forget a tag, which is like that whole Great Depression bit. It's like, you thought the pandemic was hard, at least you had shoes and TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
the Great Depression was,
My grandmother was born during the Great Depression also, but
Wow.
it didn't even affect them. They were so poor.
Yeah.
yeah,
They
that's,
they lived on a small, like, kind of a farm, but they had their own farm animals.
Oh,
and
you're saying
stuff.
it
They
didn't
were just
oh.
self-sustaining people. They didn't
Oh,
have
wow.
electricity and stuff.
but they didn't have any kind of like Dust Bowl, nothing like that.
No, they
did.
lived here. It was in North Carolina.
Oh,
so,
okay, wow.
yeah, they were kind of insulated from all that. I mean, they were just their whole life was the Great Depression. You know,
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
they were already
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Well, it's wild because like I was talking to one of my mom's friends, and they like everyone, my whole family like grew up in Jersey City. They all grew up together, and everybody's kind of stayed friends from their
Yeah.
like parish. That's what was like
Yeah.
the neighborhood was like a parish, you know. And she was like, yeah, my mom's parents, my grandparents. She was like, yeah, they were so like cool with anything we wanted to do. We could all sleep in the living room and, you know, like hang out, and they'd make us, you know, if we were drunk late at night coming home, they'd make us breakfast, they'd make us whatever. They didn't care. We were talking in this tiny apartment. They didn't care. And I was like, yeah, because they grew up in the Depression. Like
Yeah.
they had nothing. They had no fun ever.
You had to
So, like-
lean on each other.
Yeah, exactly. So like the idea, I mean, not that they didn't have any fun ever, I guess, but like you find fun, but like like the idea that like 40 years later they have like kids who are like having fun and like
Right. Yeah.
They don't have to eat crows.
yeah, exactly. Like when you start from eating crows, it's like, oh, we're not eating crows. That's great. Whatever not eating crows is the better. Yeah.
Right. And you know, in the cities, I'm sure it was way harder too because
It's
infrastructure. And it's like today, like if shit went south today, it'd be really bad.
Oh yeah, I think about that all the time in New York. I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
What if
8 million people
X
right
happened?
there?
I'd be like,
yeah.
Get out of town.
Where do I go? Yeah.
I remember seeing like a documentary about like one of the blizzards in New York or something. Because it was like one of the Ken Burns thing. Everybody was dead, but it was like way back in the day. It wasn't like I remember. It was like 17 whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like a great blizzard. And I remember my dad just being like, "That's why you should never live in a big city, son. If something goes south, you can't do nothing."
Yeah.
You know, that terrified me as a kid.
Yeah.
So you'll be all right though, dude.
Yeah. No, but you'll be fine.
You'll be fine, dude.
As long as you die first. It's not a big deal.
That's true. Yeah. Take me. Take me first. Aliens come down. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'll go.
I'm just waiting for an asteroid or something.
Dude, that's the.
I think
that's
about
the
that every
wild
time I
thing.
go outside now. I'm like, is it today?
I think about that like if I'm like just doing something. I'm like, asteroid hit. Is this where I want to be? Is this where? Is this like?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just like you're doing something really dumb, and it's just like, man, I'm gonna die one day. What am I
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Or you wear an outfit, and you're like, I cannot die today because I'll be in a morgue.
I
like
can't
this.
get caught. in
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Mortality, dude.
Yeah, it is crazy that we have all these existential risks,
Mhm.
and nobody. It's like most people can't even comprehend that.
Yeah.
We're just oblivious to it. It's like we ignore it's like that with everything in society. Like just in society in general, you have there's an increase in poverty, which is insane today. It should be decreasing. It should not be non-existent, really.
Yeah.
But you know, these things are that's like a sore in the society. It's like a festering wound that's just growing, and everybody's like, oh, just look over there. You know, like yeah. So that stuff scares me.
Yeah, in New York, it's crazy. Somebody tried to convince me the other day. They were like, homeless people make more money than guys on Wall Street. And I was like, dude, you're insane. They were like, yeah, bro, I have a buddy who worked all day on Wall Street, and then he'd go and he'd sit in the Wall Street 4-6 stop, and he'd fucking busk, and he'd make more money busking than he would trading stocks on Wall Street.
I feel like everybody says that, like, you make more money panhandling. It's like, no, you don't.
I was like, oh, okay. Why aren't those people in penthouses? Like,
Right.
You think they want to? No.
I think homeless people exist because of Wall Street.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Sort of
And then
a
some
direct-
asshole is going, I'll do both. Fuck it. Some asshole's like, I'm actually making money moves, bro. I'm trying to.
I don't pay rent.
Yeah.
Hustling.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people are like, hustle culture, hustle. And then it's just like, dude, we're going to die one day. Like,
Yeah.
come on. The other day I was just walking down at Battleground, and I didn't mean to do it, but I walked past the graveyard, and it started making me sad. And then I was just like, I'm going to get some ice cream. Best ice cream, not dead ice cream, is the best ice cream you'll ever have in your life. I was just like, man, none of those. I was like, those poor fuckers don't get ice cream anymore. And then I was like, I'll go get some ice cream. Delicious.
I just got a big old swallow of coffee grounds.
Oh,
Nice. That's that bow coffee, boy. You gotta chew the coffee down here, boy.
Look at us. 3 guys talking about death.
Yeah.
Two young guys and an older guy. talking about that.
Yeah.
I feel it more than you guys do.
Yeah.
Feel closer.
What was the first thing, Neil, when you felt like, oh, I'm aging? What was the first thing? Because now I'm like being very aware of what my mouth tastes like. Like I'm just like, I never used to be like that when I was younger, and I'm just like, God, what is in my? And then it's like I gotta drink water or something with that. Never used to be a thing. And I'm like approaching 30.
Your mouth just tastes like Capri Sun all day. You're like, this is the best. Yeah.
It's like it always tasted like candy or whatever, but now I'm just like, what is that?
There's
I hate it.
stages. There's stages of it. It's like it starts in your late 20s with noises.
Okay.
Like you start to make noises when you stand
Oh,
up and
yeah.
stuff, or
Oh,
sit
yeah.
down.
I struggle with
Like you
this.
start to grunt a lot, and then in your 30s, it's like you just can't figure out why you don't have any time.
Mm.
It's like time just starts to speed up so fast. It's like, it's been 2 years now.
Shit.
And it's
I
like
thought you
you're
were gonna
just-
say 20 minutes.
You feel like you're running out of time, and then when you get in your 40s, you're like, I gotta piss. Like, oh, I think it's been a little bit. It's
I
like-
think I just did.
You're like walking to the bathroom, and you just like, oh, I think I just released slightly. Like, what's happened to this thing? And it's just things start to fall apart. It's like I tried to open a gate a couple years ago and tore my bicep.
I remember that.
It just snapped my bicep. I'm like,
Yikes.
oh, I can't do this anymore.
I thought it was your pec. I thought your titty broke.
That was my
Oh, yeah, I
long
Titty
end of my
remember
broke is a
bicep.
funny.
Yeah.
Titty broke is a funny 2 words. to
Yeah,
put.
titty broke.
Titty. My titties
It's like
are
you're
good.
not like apartment poor. Your titty broke.
Your titty
something
broke,
like that.
But yeah, it's just your body just starts to give up on you.
I had a
Nice.
moment. So that like slip joke that I have in the
Yeah.
that like I was like in like working on it. I did a part of it where it was like literally like in cartoons they mislead you because like they show dumb people slipping like whoa 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 whoa
Yeah.
boom and I slipped like like just
Yeah.
like
It's
fully
instant.
went yeah and I
Also,
did
has
it.
this ever worked?
No, yeah, exactly. You have to fall if you do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But I like did it at a mic, and I did the physicality of standing straight up and then like going 90 degrees
Yeah.
back, and the whole rest of the day I was like, oh no, I can't believe I just fucked up my back doing a fucking bit. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's no good. I'm like, am I gonna stretch before sets now? That can't happen.
Yeah, that slipping motion hurts my back just watching it.
Yeah.
Got some strong calves though. You did those. You did those MJ lanes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's pretty
That's
good,
a
dude.
great bit, man. Yeah, that's
Thanks.
funny.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's How does he do that?
I think he actually had a rig. I think there was a rig. I don't think he actually.
Oh,
did
MJ.
that. Yeah, I think that was
Oh.
like a rig.
But how's Trump do it?
Oh, I have no idea.
Scoliosis.
Maybe, yeah.
Delusion.
Trump's got a mean
Delusion.
lean for
Yeah.
sure,
He's got
yeah.
a crazy lean. That guy.
I saw someone illustrate it.
He's a little top heavy too, right?
Yeah, a little
and the
bit.
blazer comes out. You could see the
Yep.
blazer coming out.
His heavy feet.
He's got heavy.
Maybe,
feet.
yeah, and it's like kind of supports it. He's like an army guy, the little toy
Yeah,
army
he's like a
guys.
rescue hero.
Yeah, yeah. Holy shit, deep cut rescue hero. I saw someone illustrate it, and they were like, it had him leaning, but it had like he had a massive penis, and it was like tucked up in his shirt, and then that's why it looks like it's like a hog. It's so funny, dude.
Yeah, that is wild.
Yeah, but I'm 27 and I'm starting to taste my mouth.
Yeah.
I haven't had anything with noises yet, though.
We had a guy once come down to School of the Arts. He was like I forget if he was like a casting director or like an agent or something, but like he was like supposed to be this like big like Q&A with an agent or something.
Yeah.
And so like the whole time we're like all sitting in a circle, and he was just kind of like, "Hi guys," like just like kind of a soft-spoken guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just here for the weekend." He's probably like here to like whatever. He's probably going to Wilmington the next day to
Yeah.
like go to the beach or something, but he was just like, "Yeah, whatever questions you have." And so people would start talking, and they're like, and like all these, acting school Q&As are just like, I want to hear myself talk for 5 minutes. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's always just like, as an actor, I feel like, and then it was like, all right, how long is this going to go? But, so he would like listen to all these questions, but the whole time he was going, yeah, right. He made like the most noises possible.
Yeah.
And so I could not focus on anything anyone was saying. I was just watching him the whole time go, yeah. So like, it was making me like silently laugh the whole time. And then the like Q&A thing was over, and I went to the bathroom, and I was in the stall, and I heard him come in, and I saw his feet next to the stall at the urinal. And so I hear him come in, footsteps, and then he gets to the urinal, and then zip, and then you hear piss hitting the urinal, and then you hear he gets a text on his phone, which the whole time he was sitting there was in his breast pocket.
Yeah.
So he comes in, footsteps, zip, piss, phone dings, and he goes, "Oh." And I could not contain myself in the stall. I was like trying so hard to like stifle the biggest laugh. The whole and it was like a mixture of like everything, like the sound of pee and him and the phone and the fact that he's checking his phone at the urinal in his breast pocket. I don't know. There's something so funny about it. And the whole hour before leading up to it where he was like,
Here's the thing: as you get older, you care less.
Oh yeah.
About physical things and appearance and stuff. You just stop caring as much. It's like I've been in an attorney's office before, like an older attorney.
Yeah.
And they'll like blow their nose and like hawk up loogies and spit them in tissues and stuff. Just disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to get rid of me? Do you want?
I feel like that's a good that's a good like gauge is like how loud is your sneeze.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like you could tell how old the person is by like how loud their sneeze is.
Do you wait to clear your throat, or do you just in the middle of a conversation go?
Yeah. Do you talk through a yawn? Do you talk through a
Like one of I remember when I was really young, my pawpaw, he was talking about something. And he just burped mid-sentence and kept going. Yeah. And the funniest part was that it was his wife's name that he was burping. So he meant to say, that's the same one that he had. And just burped through it. I was like 8 at the table, and I had to be like.
It's funny.
So good.
Throwing some disrespect on his own wife's name.
The woman you've been with for like 60 years. Oh, man. Do you do that noise to yourself?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's my favorite.
I used to do it as like a bit, like if someone said something that was supposed to be like shocking.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, or like gasp or something. And now I realize I do it in conversations that
Oh, that's funny.
would annoy people if I was like, oh.
You have to go to the bathroom a lot more as you get older too.
And that's what this
I'll be
guy
right
was.
back.
Yeah.
Oh, you're being
he's serious.
for real.
He's dead ass. He's going. Oh, good.
No cap.
No cap. What does no cap mean?
I think it means no lie.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I love that. I love those stranger.
What if the whole time Neil's gone, we just talk in Gen Z TikTok?
I can keep up for a little bit.
No, yeah, I'm 10 seconds and then I'm out.
Skibbity, toilet, Riz.
I'm out.
You got Riz. I already
I'm
got
out
you.
on toilet. I don't know the toilet.
All right, I win. And you're 26, though. I'm 20. I'm a year older. You gotta get with it, man.
I don't really. I have a TikTok, but I don't like.
Yeah.
Scroll on it.
You're not missing much.
Yeah.
You're good. They're about to ban it.
And they're about to ban it. Yeah.
That's what's important.
Honestly, I'm like good.
Yeah.
Like
one less thing you have to like.
Yeah, to meaninglessly check.
Yeah.
And like check if my views went from like 100 to 102.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's like 2 more people saw this thing.
Oh, that's
yeah.
interesting. At least.
Yeah.
That 2 people watched it.
Dude, the thing that gets me off it now is
I thought you were gonna say the thing that gets me off.
No.
I was like, oh shit, Neil's gone.
Yeah, I don't have any pants on behind this desk actually. So, but the thing that gets me off Instagram, I feel like it's a total dad thing, but I follow this account called Get Off Instagram Daily, and it's like it looks like you're scrolling and you just keep going, and eventually you get the one thing, and it's like, it has like this guy waking up from like a dream, and it's like, oh, POV, you just woke up from 3 hours of scrolling on Instagram and something like that. I was like, oh. Or there's one, it's like, it has like Sun Tzu like sitting, and it says, when your screen time is down to 1 hour and 45 minutes, and it's like it's 1:45 in the morning. Like you've just been on it the whole time, and I'm just like, oh God, you're right. I need to get off.
That's almost an oxymoron, that whole page.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
like, it works. It gets
no,
me
but
off.
I get it. Yeah.
It gets me.
Nice.
Pause.
Yeah.
It gets me off to go on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Just scroll on
Switch
that.
over.
I'm like, I need to get off Instagram. I'll go on Facebook.
Yeah. No, it is rough. Yeah. That's why I don't like. I didn't have an Instagram before I started comedy. Yeah. Because like I just think it's bad for you.
Oh, for sure.
And then when I started doing comedy, I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna put stuff on it. I'm gonna try to not like interact with it.
Yeah.
So I like didn't follow anybody, which I know is like shitty, but like
yeah,
I don't really, it's all right. Like nobody's jonesing for my follow. You know? But like that way you don't have a feed.
Yep.
So my feed is just whatever video I posted last.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to watch because I edited it and whatever. But so that's like a good way to not be on it for hours.
Yeah.
because it's
I know. You know Momo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Momo does. Like,
Oh, really?
he unfollowed all of us, and then a part of me was just like, yeah, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
And then he told me, he was like, yeah, I just did it to not be on it. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why people were like, why don't you follow me? Because it's like
Yeah.
we're friends, but it's like, but I'm friends with you here.
Yeah, in real life.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is what's happening right now. So like, but I get it, whatever. But it's like I can't be on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram.
It's also like when I didn't have it, when I like didn't have an Instagram, and I told people like, oh, I don't have an Instagram. The level of like,
It's like you said you don't have a phone.
yeah. There's like a level of like respect and like almost like
Oh,
looking at
really?
someone through a snow globe. You're like, oh, what's the real world like? And then
Yeah.
when I told people like, oh, I have one, I just don't follow people. They'd be like, fuck you. It was such a quick turn from
Yeah.
like, wow, what's that like? That must be cool. Oh, I'm trying to get off it myself, like quitting smoking or something.
Yeah. Dude, I almost deleted my Facebook, and then I started comedy. And then I would never get on it.
Same.
And then Jenny sent me a message, and I didn't check it. And then I was just at the club one day, and she was like, do you not want to be on this show? It was like my first one. And I was just like, oh, shoot, I didn't check. And then I still got on it because she's awesome.
Yeah,
But, you know,
yeah.
it was like, I was like, oh, shit, I got to be on that now. So,
Yeah, it's like a necessary evil. It's just to like, what time is the show?
yeah.
How much time are we doing? You know, like, yeah. But it's
Yeah, all the self promotion and stuff. It's
I know it's like
Sucks.
annoying.
yeah, but you have to do it.
You have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel very annoying posting shows on there. So, like, if I post
Yeah.
a show or something, I'm like, all right, I'll post something normal. Here's a picture of my cat or something. Just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
To
But people are
offset.
probably, people are still probably like, still annoying. But, you know.
I hate to ask people to come watch me. Like,
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I feel. I really. It's like almost like you don't want people that you know watching your coming to your
I
shows.
think you know the phrase "perfect strangers."
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, we were perfect strangers. I think in comedy there's a comma, like perfect strangers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you don't know anyone in the audience,
Yeah.
that's like the best night you can
There's
have.
no pressure at all.
No pressure, and
Yeah.
there's an honest response.
Yes.
Yep.
Because no one is there like, we better laugh for Pat because we're in the back and
Right.
whatever. Like, you're getting an honest reaction to the bits. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
So here's a question I like to ask other comics, and we'll wrap it up with this. But
Sure.
what's your writing process?
I don't know, dude. I used to write it out fully, like in
Yeah.
a notebook, like A to Z. Like, here's the bit, and then I went from notebook to like notes app because it's just faster.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
use the notes app. Yeah.
You just write it faster, and I feel like it's more impulsive, which is like closer to what being on stage is like, I think.
Right. Yeah.
So now I'll sometimes write A to Z on on the notes app, but like increasingly I'm just getting more towards like having like, if a bit's 3 minutes, I have a minute and a half of it, and I'll go to a mic and like run it and just see what comes out of
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
face, you know.
Mhm.
And then going back and doing it that way, where it's like writing new parts of a bit, going on, trying those out, then coming back, rather than like the first time I'm doing it, here's the fully polished
Right.
bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
or I think it's fully polished, and then cutting and then moving. It's like here's like 2 jokes,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and let's see where that goes.
That's
Yes.
where I feel like I'm at right now, too.
Yeah. It's the same process I have now too.
Yeah.
'Cause I used to write it all out too, like a script.
Yeah.
But it sounds it sounds too written, and it's also very
Totally.
restrictive. It's easy to get in your head if you're trying to stay on the script.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Mhm.
what I've learned, and it's just like that in acting too. Is you want to be in the moment and just have a strong point of view about what you're saying and know what you're saying,
Totally.
and then it's always it's always better if I just work it out
Mm-hmm.
and then figure it out that way. I use my recording app a lot too.
Oh, totally. Record everything.
Even at home, just writing. I'll
Yeah,
just start talking about the idea,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I always find the funny parts.
Yeah.
Or the funny thing.
Yeah. It's funny listening back to you recording you talking alone
It's horrible.
on a bit, and then you're like listening to it, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, this sucks, and then you laugh at yourself in the recording, and you go, what a moron. Like you're like, oh, that's kind of something, and then you're like, no, it's not. You later is like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I try to leave messages for myself later. Like, I'm like, Seth, please listen to this. I know you're going to hate it, but I think it's funny right now. And I say it, and then I go, all right, I love you.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I'm just like, all right, I'll listen.
Hey, Seth, this is Seth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, when I know a bit is good though, like it does make me laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if you think it's funny,
Yeah.
that's the best thing.
And if it still makes you laugh, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'll think of something that's really funny to me at the time, and then a couple days go by, and I'm like, it's actually not that funny.
Right. And sometimes
then-
you're like, oh, this thing in my head is funny, and you forget to write it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple days later, if you don't remember it, probably wasn't worth
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
Or you'll have like bits that you think are funny and they're in your set, but every time you hear them, it's like there's something. It's too surface level. Like there's
Yep.
something missing. There's something
Yep.
deeper into it or a different angle.
Yep.
And then when you find that, it's like that's a real reward, you know.
Which I feel like when you're at that point, like the only way to find it is to get up
yeah,
on
you gotta
stage and
figure
just
it out.
keep bombing with it and just keep
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
just keep like, just doing the same bad jokes and then just
Yeah.
being like, one time something will happen. But
A friend of mine, you know, he's Jeremy Nelson. He's the other guy in our band, but
yeah,
we write a lot together too when we practice.
yeah,
You know, when we have rehearsals and stuff. So we'll just run bits by each other,
yeah.
and that helps a lot.
Yeah, you're like getting out like 2 mics worth of
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
of running. Yeah,
Because sometimes you're just it's easier for me to help someone else write their material than to write my own.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, why aren't you doing this? And they're like, oh shit, you know, like
Right.
so much easier to look at somebody else's thing and go, oh, the joke is so clearly this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're so detached from it.
Yeah,
So
you're
that
like,
little-
or another thing too is like, you're like, oh, I was expecting you fully to go there.
Yeah.
And it's not even like a
Right.
tag. It's just like, I fully thought you were going in this direction.
Yeah.
And then that's like a microcosm of like what the audience might think
Yeah.
Oh,
the journey
yeah.
of the bit is, you know,
Yeah.
like you're setting it up in this way. I thought you were going to go there. It's not even like a note or a tag. It's just like,
We all thought this.
yeah, exactly. Like when you
As the
turned left,
audience.
it actually doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
And if it's someone else saying that to you, you're like, oh yeah,
yeah, you're like, obviously.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem.
That
with this
thing,
bit.
that $5 like joke, that like the thing about the emails, like conservative emails,
Yeah.
they're
Oh, yeah,
asking
yeah,
for $5. The liberal emails are asking for $1,000 or whatever. I used to end that a totally different way, and my friend Grace was like, "You're like," I was like, "That bit sucks, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." Like it doesn't make any. I was like, "Oh, like if you're independent, you get a Facebook message, and it was like a whole nother like story of what the
Yeah.
message is."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Just ask the audience for $5."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, genius!" You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Like it's right there. It's always the thing that's like kind of right there.
yeah. And it's like you're the answer. Like making
Yeah.
fun of you is a
Yeah.
funny thing. So
Well, that's
Bringing
why.
it back to yourself.
yeah, exactly.
Well, really good material makes comedy seem easy.
Yeah.
It seems so obvious. But
You're
it's-
right. Right.
It's I always say that comedy is like silly nonsense, or comedy is like it's like an intellectual pursuit disguised as silly nonsense.
Yeah. I love silly.
Yeah, it's the best.
Silly's the best, dude.
Yeah.
Well, dude, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, man.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having
Yeah.
me. This is cool. This
Yeah, sure.
place is wild. This is
Right?
Creative space.
yeah. It's a
Yeah.
little like this is like a VIP room at like a weird club or something.
Strip club.
Like that's like all the security is like right there.
Best green room.
Yeah.
If I'm security, you guys are getting away with everything. Like, I'm not holding it down.
Yeah, this door is open. Somebody could just come in.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't turn around. Everyone.
you go,
guys
oh
having
shit,
fun?"
somebody's behind me. I better
It's a
move this
setup.
camera.
Yeah. I'm a security person, but I'm still a people pleaser. Like I just go around just like you guys having fun.
No, it's
Like,
fine. Yeah, come on in. But yeah, thanks for having me. It's cool.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
pleasure, man.
Yeah, have fun at the show tonight.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
And also, how can people find you on socials and stuff?
Yeah, I'm on. It's Instagram is @Pat's_surprise party, and then TikTok is Pat's Surprise Party, and then YouTube is Pat's Surprise Party. And yeah, if you're ever in New York, come to First Impressions or Hail Mary show, or I'm doing another show called Family Friends. It's like maybe like a bi-monthly. We're trying to figure out when that is, but
Awesome, dude.
or just fucking message me.
What's
Ask where I'm at.
Family Friends was that?
It's a friend of mine who we grew up together. Like our moms are best friends,
Yeah.
and so like we saw each other like twice a year, like growing up.
Oh yeah.
And then we both moved to New York to do comedy, and we were like, oh, let's do. And she does mostly like improv, and so we do a show together that's like improv, stand up, and
Oh,
then
that's
like
cool.
characters at the
Yeah,
end.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, dude, keep doing it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
It's been
so
a
much.
pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.